Thank you for joining the Syndicate Network and your host, Skywalker the Jedi. Skywalker the Jedi.
What's going on? What's going on, y'all? It is your boy Skywalker the Jedi back at y'all with another one. Y'all could be anywhere else in the world right now, but you're here with me rocking out, and I appreciate that. Much love to all y'all out there. This really is Rebel headquarters, y'all. They ain't even sending out notifications for this shit. I always get a notification on my phone when my stream goes live. I ain't even getting the notification, but it's all good because that's why we got to keep these conversations going, y'all. Right? And I got a few of the homies that's going to be pulling up with me to have this conversation. So this is very exciting. But that's why I need y'all to make sure y'all smashing that like button, sharing this stuff out. Because it really does do the channel a great service when you guys do that. They ain't even sending fucking notifications out. They ain't do this the last time that I was streaming about this or about a similar topic after the debate. But it's all good because we're going to be here having these conversations, you dig? Right? We ain't going to be letting this just go by and just not talk about it. You know what I'm saying? Because look, I got other stuff that I'm going to be talking about. You know what I'm saying? And we're going to have those conversations. I'm having one of those conversations tomorrow. Very much so looking forward to it. But at the same time, we ain't going to be quiet about this shit. Ain't no way that I can just sit here with the background that I got and just be quiet. Look, so we are on the road to 2K. Make sure you guys are liking the content, sharing it out. What's about to say? Smashing that notification bell so you know when I'm going live, because YouTube be tripping. You know what I'm saying? They ain't trying to let us live. They ain't trying to let us be. We can't even have these conversations in good faith without them bugging. But it's all good because we're going to keep it pushing. We're going to keep it pushing and we're going to keep doing what we do. You dig? Thank y'all for being here. We are streaming across 3 platforms. We got YouTube going out, the X/Twitter going up, and we got Facebook going up, because every time we talking about this, I'm going to be streaming this to Facebook too. Because, it be a lot of that other stuff going on over there, and it just be going on unchallenged. You know what I'm saying? And we ain't doing that. We ain't doing that. We about to have this conversation here tonight. And I told you guys that I got a few of the homies stopping through that we're gonna be having this conversation with. We got another one of the homies stopping by. We got the homie Apex Leon in the building. What's going on, bro? How is you feeling, Brody? Right?
Man, we rocking out tonight, brother.
Oh snap! Hold up. Let me fix that. Yeah. What's going on? All right. There we go. Okay, there we go. We are set. What's going on, bro? Hope you have had a good day. I'm very excited to be here having this conversation, bro. And I appreciate you pulling up to have it, man.
Yeah, no doubt, man. It's an important conversation. And it's one that we shouldn't be fearful to have. You know, no matter what your stance is, what your beliefs are, and what side of the aisle you fall on, we should be able to have a conversation with one another. And it be a cordial one, it be a productive one, and it would be an intelligent one. You know, that's what matters at the end of the day.
Absolutely. And the same thing goes out for this last for that last stream that I did when I was kind of speaking on this. Yo, if anybody that I know wants to come up here and talk about this stuff, you guys are more than welcome to. Just let me know and I'll shoot you a link. You know what I'm saying? And well, we can have a conversation, because yeah, man, like, yo, this is getting insane at this point, bro. And I think that we've kind of been in this space where, obviously, with us having the other conversations that we have on YouTube, and just on social media, period. This just isn't something that we can just like sit idly by and not talk about, right? Like, I think it kind of, I don't know about you, but it bothers me, bro. like not talking about this stuff, not having these conversations. Can you kind of expound on how it makes you feel, bro, and what kind of makes you want to talk about this stuff?
What makes me want to talk about it is the sheer fear of people trying to have a conversation. And then, because a lot of this stuff is really nuanced and people aren't trying to look into the gray areas of the conversations. It's just, you know, whatever the popular narrative is within the legacy media. And I think that's, it's borderline brainwashing. If you
Yeah,
don't, if you can't knock on your neighbor's door metaphorically or call up someone you know or even speak to a coworker, the three forbidden conversations in life among certain circles is religion, sex, and politics, right? But I say screw that. We should all be able to be adults and have a conversation without having to be in fear of our reputations by just asking simple questions. And that to me is what fires me up to want to talk about these things more.
yeah. And what's funny is if you look at like one of the staples in our culture, just in American culture, right? One of the things that's always been kind of fascinating is people's obsession with like the black barbershop, right?
Right.
And one of the reasons for that is because you can talk about whatever in there.
Facts.
Like it's been like one of the last few safe havens, so to speak, for people to kind of speak their mind. And when you kind of put it in those kind of terms, I think people are able to kind of get it a little more. We're pretty much trying to bring these barbershop conversations to the forefront, is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah. I mean, honestly, when you look at it in that format, in that sort of cultural aspect, we all just shoot the shit, excuse my French, and just sit back and say whatever. And everybody just kind of goes, I can't believe you just said that, laughs about it. Or if you didn't like it, we just have the hard conversation and we walk away from it without acting like, again, the person's reputation is on the line, their soul is on the line,
Right.
you know what I mean? It's just
Yeah.
conversations because we know 9 times out of 10, when you're interacting with somebody, you're not interacting with a serial killer. You're not interacting with anybody that's going to do some crazy heinous crime. The point something percentage of people that are on the scale of nuts is very few. So you're probably interacting with your average peer. So why don't we just have the respect to have just a basic conversation with your average peer? You know what I mean? But there's this air that's been going around where it just feels like everybody is trying to figure out if they're talking to a criminal. That's just how it feels to be. When you
Yeah.
talk politics, am I talking to a crook? Am I talking to somebody who hates black people? It's like, yo, man, it ain't that deep a lot
It's
of the
not,
times.
man.
They're making it seem as though it is among the average. And I'll just say this and
Absolutely.
relinquish the mic. Among the average, we're all just clocking in on our 9 to 5s. That's it. That's what we're doing. We're not doing anything egregious or crazy. So why can't we talk to our average 9 to 5ers and just have a simple conversation, and see where it leads. You know what I mean?
And see where it leads, right? The good also says exactly. Only the Sith deals in absolutes. Right. I love the Star Wars quotes. There's more nuance on the good side. There's no nuance on the bad.
I use
Yeah,
that
it's
all the
just
time. I never deal in absolutes.
yeah, man. Like and I think that's what's one of the things is that even kind of drove us to even like start having these, or at least myself, right? Is just this like overdoing of talking about Donald Trump in a negative way. Like I can't sit here covering what I cover as a huge fan of who I am a huge fan of. You know what I'm saying? And I'm trying to like keep these things separate right now because I don't want, anybody
Right.
but hey, y'all know who I'm a huge fan of out there, right? So like I can't watch this guy go through what he goes through with the media and seeing how this shit works and seeing how it plays out and all the manipulation. And I can't watch that happen and then literally watch the same thing happen to somebody else. And then I just fall for it. It's almost like, you know, they've been kind of like grooming people in a certain way to for this very moment.
It's all over entertainment.
You know?
It's literally all over entertainment. Where let's take the case of quickly in Aziz Ansari, right? In that situation where there's still some people, mostly on the internet, who believe it was worse than what it was, even though the woman involved detailed out that it was just a simple, awkward date. I mean, those things happen all the time, but it was blown out of proportion. Certain words were utilized that could get your channel monetized or demonetized on YouTube. Those sort of verbiage over a date that was awkward at worst. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
absolutely.
And they demonize that man. So it is a sort of almost like a thought experiment, almost like how can I test the masses? Little by little, I will just take situations that can be talked out quickly and fairly and turn them into things that are egregious, ugly, and disgusting, and have you questioning people that aren't even arrested or anywhere near arrested.
Yeah.
It's interesting. Scary, almost.
Yeah, it is, man. And I will continue to say this, and I said it back then. I was like, hey, when because we're about to get into this assassination business, but when I saw that Trump got kicked off of Twitter and taken off of social media, and everybody was cheering, and I was like, yo, if they just took the president off of social media, what does that mean for your regular everyday person? Right? Like,
it means that no one's opinion is safe and no one's platform is safe. And I would say this question to you, Sky. How can we call someone a threat to democracy who can't even keep his own Twitter account at the time?
That's a great question, bro. That's a great question. I almost want that drop from iRobot. Right. And that is the right question. You know what I'm saying? But look, is there's gonna be a lot of questions that are asked tonight, and we're gonna start getting to some of that stuff now. So as for you guys that didn't know, I believe it was on Sunday, right? There was the second attempt at the former president Donald J. Trump's life, right? And I heard about this while I was at work. The homie kind of pulled me to the side and he was like, yo, look. And then I looked and then he was like, you was right, bro. And what's sad is I didn't even want to like feel that way, Leon. Right? But
right,
you and I both said on that stream the day it happened, because we went live that same day, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
We were among the few that weren't like big time media, because big time media was barely covering it correctly.
Yeah. And you and I both said that it was going to happen again, and that we didn't think that they were done going after him. And that's exactly what happened, bro. So like, you want to kind of talk about that for a split second before we get into to some of these videos. Just where were you when you found out, and what was it like what was your first thoughts when you found out that this had happened again, unfortunately?
The second one or the first one?
No, the second one.
I'm not going to say the exact location. It's not like it's illegal or anything, but it's just my personal business. But you know where I was. And it's ironically that I was leaving that same area the first time it happened.
Yeah.
And, this time I'm like, wow, this is kind of nuts. that it felt eerie that it was around the same sort of time or place that I had left from the first time. You know what I mean? I was like, what the hell? And I remember you had cracked a joke. You were like, bro, don't go over there anymore.
I was like, bro, don't pull up no more. Don't pull
And I'm
up.
like,
Don't pull up,
seriously.
bro.
Well, that's freaking eerie. But that being said, I don't know, man. I was hesitant because the first time it happened, obviously it's something that's so crazy, it's historic, it's wild that you know it kind of sparks you to talk about it in a way that's kind of an angry way because at the first time it happened, everybody was making all these crazy wild jokes as if they wanted him to get hit, and that was insane. And this time around it was odd because the first time the media coverage was slow from mainstream media,
Yeah.
and they were reporting it very odd. This time it was like they were ready and they had all the details. And I was like quite shocked. I was like, okay, it's interesting. So I don't know, man. I don't know if mainstream media is just like in love with stoking fires or they knew ahead. I don't know. It's just odd. So I was taken aback by the whole situation and just kind of like I kind of sat it out for a minute, which sucks to say, but you already know I was like, man. And then you were putting me up on a lot of game with what was going on, but I just kind of sat out like, man, this is getting out of hand, man. And then the response again was strange from society, at least on the internet, about the
Yeah, man.
situation.
Bruh, it's almost as if like people will not believe that this is real until he gets murdered on like live television or like on video. It's
Right.
crazy. It's crazy to me, bro.
Yeah. Yeah. It's almost like they want it to happen. And I'm just like, man, it's for anybody that passionate about somebody in a negative way. I just want to know what he did. That's all I want to know. I just want to know what he did to garner that sort of a reaction from
Bruh,
you
I
as an individual
never
person,
wanted a
personally.
politician or somebody like that to just die. That's crazy.
I don't know that I've met anybody
And
that I want to.
and like what's wild to me is the people that this is coming from, for the most part, tend to be the nice ones, right? They're the
The the
bleeding hearts.
alleged the
You know,
alleged nice
I don't
ones.
know,
Yeah.
man. I don't know, bro. The shit's weird. But anyway, I digress, right? Let's move on. Cause for those of you that don't know, I'm gonna play this quick little video showing how the FBI came out and said, hey, that they responded to it. So it happened. Let's hear this quick video.
And we do have a statement from the FBI's office, the National Press Operations Unit, saying, quote, the FBI has responded to West Palm Beach, Florida, and is investigating what appears to be an attempted assassination of former President Trump.
All right. So it happened at Trump's golf course. Right. This is wild, man. To have this happening at such a frequent rate is a bit disturbing. The attempted assassinator was Ryan Wesley Routh, right? And here is a quick video of his arrest as well. Because apparently he was found near 300 to 500 yards from President Trump with an AK-47 with a scope on it, two backpacks and the ceramic tiles and a GoPro. So obviously he was going to film this thing, and he had been entrenched in the bushes for 12 hours leading up to the Secret Service noticing the muzzle pointing through the gate, and they proceeded to open fire. He retreated to his vehicle and was caught about 50 miles away from where he had took the shots from, if I'm not mistaken. So let's go ahead and get a look at his arrest, and then we will get some thoughts.
Keep walking! Keep that long.
Yep. So shouts out to the cops who were able to track him down and make contact with him. Just opening thoughts, bro. Like, what's going on? This happened in Florida, right? I mean, are you like, how far are you from this? How do you feel knowing that this happened at least closer to you than the last one did? What's your thoughts on that, bro?
Shout out to FPD. Shout out to FPD. Man, my goodness. I don't even know. I'm stunned still by this whole thing. I really am. I will say this though, not to pat anybody on the back, the people who have said egregious stuff, but this was a lot less bad of a reaction from the public online. Thinking about it, I think because people are just kind of like, maybe people are waking up to the fact that this is serious, like the whole talk about whether this is fake and real and da da da. It's like, I haven't really seen a lot of that. I've seen more people kind of like, they're kind of tired, on both sides, like tired, not just out of frustration, but out of like sheer, like their energy feels drained almost. And I'm not saying mine is like that, but I kind of understand where they're coming from on whoever they're voting for, right? Whoever you're voting for. Like,
Absolutely.
I completely understand.
You just kind of want the day to hurry up and get here, right?
Yeah. It's like, and I'm not over it like I've given up. I'm over it in a sense of like, yo, man, this has gotten to be way too much. Back to back. I've never heard of that in history. And if somebody can correct me on that, I'd love to learn something. Right. You know what I mean? Like,
both shortly after a debate as well.
I'd love to learn some new historical information. If somebody's like, no, this happened in 1870. I've never heard of this.
The first one was 10 days after the debate. This one was 5, if I'm not mistaken.
Sheesh, man. What's the next one going to be? Half of that?
The next day? At the debate?
Right. If I'm anybody that's a politician right now that has been called an enemy of the state or, enemy of democracy or any other crazy ass egregious terms, I'm not walking out of the house without full body armor, headgear. Hell, I might not even just walk out of the house.
Yeah.
What's the point? We can have this conversation via Zoom call. I can have a debate via Zoom call. I can become president via Zoom.
Yeah.
Like we're doing now. I mean, what's the point? So those are just my thoughts. I'm just kind of stunned by all of this, especially it happening in Florida. Florida ain't this gangster state no more. We chilling out here, man.
Yeah,
it's relaxed. This is vacation country. So.
I agree, man. It's been a crazy situation. I think people are kind of waking up. I have, as always, you're going to see some nonsense, right? But I did see a lot less of it from the people. And I'm going to get into the response of some politicians in a little bit. But I just think that, at this point, anybody that does not understand what seems to be going on right now, right? We have a president that, and I'm going to go into much further detail about this later, but they've tried to take him off of ballots in certain states. They are actively prosecuting him in states. They've been doing everything that they can up to taking his life until recently. They've been trying to even do that now. I think that when you see these things continue to happen, I think that people should start to ask themselves why. Like, there's been plenty of presidents that have not been liked. There's been plenty of people, celebrity figures, right, that have not been liked, that have said things, but all this like continuous attempts on their life, especially a president, how are people continuing to get this close? I remember when Obama was going to Roscoe's Chicken and Waffles in England. Bro, they had that old street shut down. You couldn't even get to your house if you lived in that area. Like, you couldn't even get to your house without going through the little checkpoint. They had Secret Service all through there monitoring everything, bro, knowing everybody
Roscoe's looking like Fort Knox.
Bro, knowing who was going to be back there making the food, was back there. What, bro, like, it's insane. You can't even get anywhere near that dude. You couldn't get to your house if you lived in that area. So to keep having these people, first one was like within 200 yards. Well, because it was like 150 yards or something like that, right? If I'm not mistaken, and then now it's 300 to 500 yards, which I was listening to somebody who had golfed there, and they said, I think it was DeSantis, and he was like, yo, I knew immediately where it happened at as soon as I heard about it happening. He was like, that's the only kind of like perimeter security deficiency at the entire spot. And that's where you
that must have been something he had complained about before too, or probably took notice of and was like, you know what I mean?
Chilling, bro.
Yeah. Well, hopefully that causes the people who are in charge of the area, because that's his resort, right? That's his golf resort, if I'm not mistaken, right? That causes him to do extra measures of security or something, to like a perimeter wall of some sort. I don't know, something to beef up security there.
Right. What up, HMDS? You know what I'm saying? Hey, if y'all want a link, let me know. But
what up, HMDS?
But yeah, man, like there is no way that this shit is like just all an accident or something. But one thing is that I've been very, very happy with is the response from you guys' governor, Ron DeSantis. And I'm gonna play his reaction now. Have you seen this, bro?
What you're about to play, I don't know. But I will say this. I know Ron catches a lot of flack, and all the nicknames that they've given him based on bills that he's proposed or either put forth are ridiculous. If you actually read the bills, they're not any of those things that they've labeled him. I'm not going to say the names. It's just so weird. But there's another guy who gets, he catches all this hell for what? Because he's trying to make sure that, kids are just being taught in school. Their basic reading, writing, and arithmetic, and
weird, bro.
All the other stuff that people want to feed their children, then that should be up to the parents, So anyway,
I agree. But let's hear from the good old governor. You know what I mean?
Joining me now, Florida Governor Ron DeSantis. So this happened in your state. What are you going to do about it, Governor?
Well, the state of Florida is going to do our own investigation. Clearly, there were multiple violations of Florida law. We also, I think, have an interest in vindicating the truth about where this guy came from, what his motivations were. The people of our state deserve that. I don't think it's in the best interest of this country to say that agencies like the FBI and DOJ, which are trying to prosecute Trump in South Florida, they're on appeal at the 11th Circuit trying to reinstate an indictment that had been dismissed, that they're the best people to turn around and, one, give us the truth about this defendant, but also to prosecute the case where they don't have as strong of jurisdictional claims. And so we are going to be doing our investigation. I'm going to have more to say on that very shortly about what precisely we're going to do. But I would note, Jesse, I've played golf with the president when he was in office at that course. It's a great golf course. That part of the property, the fifth green, the sixth hole, and then the seventh tee, that is right there up against the fence line. So the fence line is covered with shrubbery. So if you were just walking by, you couldn't really see inside. But that is clearly the biggest point of vulnerability on that course, because if you're burrowed into those shrubs, you have a pretty clear line of sight on a number of golf holes. And so when I heard that this had happened, there were kind of conflicting reports. Maybe two people were shooting at each other. They said, no, this was meant for President Trump. I immediately knew exactly what part of the course it would have been in. So how did this guy get in there? How was he able to burrow in? And yeah, we're thankful that the Secret Service agent, when he saw the muzzle of the gun, fired and caused the defendant to leave. But that guy was burrowed in there, seems like, for the rest of the night. How did that happen?
Right. Thank God for that agent. Thank God for that agent. But that course should have been swept before, and that vulnerability should have been neutralized. When you hear the Democrats talk about this, I don't personally feel that much sorrow or that much sympathy or even regret that this happened twice, Governor. How do you understand that?
I think what I saw a lot of Democrats attacking Trump today. Really didn't even give this much of a thought. They're just all out with the rhetoric all over again. And look, we'll see what this guy consumed. It seems like he was a consumer of a lot of these corporate media narratives that the Democrats propagate. We'll see. I think that's what the investigation can show. But I will say this. There's a lot of people in our society who may have a screw loose. And if you're constantly telling them that American democracy is going to end if this guy gets elected president, well, somebody is going to feel that they're justified for doing this. And so I do think the apocalyptic rhetoric has increased the threats to Donald Trump. No question about it.
Yep, because everybody wants to be a hero if you tee it up like that. Well, Governor, thank God you're investigating, and please share whatever you learn from your state's investigation. That's really important we get to the truth. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, man. Hey, that's your governor. You know what I mean? How do you feel about what he had to say right there?
Shout out to him, man. Shout out to him. Taking me back to 2020, man. When everything was shut down, he was one of the fastest ones to get us back to work. You know, when everybody's bills weren't getting paid and houses
California
were
was on lockdown, homie. We was on lockdown, bro.
You guys, Australia, there was a lot of places that I was really shocked. And I was like, wow. Meanwhile, I'm working. I was making a lot more. I was making a lot of money, actually, around that time frame, because there were so many people in need of the services that I provide. You know what I'm saying? So it was crazy. So shout out to him opening up the job market again and making everybody employed again. So, Ron is that dude. Y'all can say what y'all want. Y'all can miss me with that. My bills are paid. And that too, that part.
Nah, I'm gonna get to this later.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah,
that's how I feel about Mr. Ron there. Ron John Surf Shop, as it were.
What up, real? But yeah, man, look, I think that was dope. I think that
what up, Rel? I ain't seen him in a minute.
In a cool minute, right? Yo, I think it's dope though that they're doing their own investigation. I'm gonna play this other video from Ron in 1 second. That came from a press conference or something. I think after that. But yeah, I think that this thing does need to be investigated, and it needs to be investigated from people that are not actively trying to lock this dude up. Like he just said, that's crazy, bro. That's almost like letting somebody's sorority sister moderate a debate. You know,
Facts.
that's almost as crazy as that. You know, almost, right? Because that would be fucking insane, bro. To let somebody's sorority sister moderate a debate for the president of the United States. Crazy. But nah, let's tap in with Ron one more time and see what he had to say.
I have not talked to him yet. I did announce yesterday we're going to be doing a state level investigation. I understand that the feds are involved, but we do believe that there were multiple violations of state law. We also believe that there's a need to make sure that the truth about all this comes out in a way, that's credible. I mean, I look at the federal government with all due respect to them. Those same agencies that are prosecuting Trump in that jurisdiction are now going to be investigating this. I just think that may not be the best thing for this country. Nevertheless, they have their prerogative, but we have our prerogative. And so we'll be making an announcement further along those lines in the ensuing days.
Yeah, man. I think that's clutch, bro. And I'll be waiting to hear what comes of this investigation, man. Because dude was embedded in there. They said that the Secret Service did no advanced sweep of the area,
bro. That's great, man.
Did no advanced sweep of the area. 100%.
So when I was in the Navy, we used to do this thing called FOD. Do you guys have that in the Army?
What is it? Because it might be called something else.
Yeah, it's FOD walk down. So we're on the flight deck of the aircraft carrier. Foreign object damage walk down. We all walk in a line to sweep the entirety of the flight deck before we do flight sorties, right? Because I was never a submariner. I was always flight deck, man. Flight deck is the most dangerous, third most dangerous job on the planet as far as occupational jobs. Working on the flight deck of an aircraft carrier is the third most dangerous, according to the Guinness Book of World Records. So, foreign object damage walk down. We sweep the area for foreign object damage so that the aircraft can safely launch. Mm-hmm. That's what you're supposed to do with any occupation where you need the thing or the person to get safely from one place to the next. You do a sweep of the area, and I know if the Navy did that, the Army did more. Yeah, I know you guys have when it comes to literal flesh and blood personnel and traversing them, transporting them from one area to the next, or securing the area so that they can stay safe and conduct whatever business they're conducting.
Absolutely.
So for them to not do that in a basic area of recreation is beyond effing egregious.
A golf course, right?
A golf course.
Yeah, it's crazy.
I appreciate you, Ro.
Yep. Yeah. They're definitely supposed to be doing advanced sweeps, and there's supposed to be at least a team advance in front of him and behind him as well, right? So apparently those teams were in place, but yet there was no advanced sweep done, which is inexcusable in my opinion.
Yeah,
right.
That's incredibly inexcusable. Before we move on, I want to say something to Rel and those watching right now. If I may highlight real quick, be on the lookout tomorrow on my channel. We're doing a discussion on the merits of releasing the Ayer cut. So y'all tune in. It's either going to be tomorrow or Friday, but we're shooting for tomorrow. So y'all tune in to that in the evening time. You'll see the notifications.
For sure. Right. And I think that all these things are kind of coming to a head, I want to play this, and then I'm going to move on to the next topic.
What does the fact that he wanted to survive say to you?
It says that he's not he's not suicidal. Apparently, he wasn't going to take his own life if he was almost being captured. Clearly, we saw that he was captured without that, and it tells me that he's probably much more politically motivated. The last shooter in Pennsylvania, I don't want to say his name because I don't want to promote him in any way, but he was clearly a guy that was looking for the notoriety of taking that shot. I would think we're going to find that this guy's extremely politically motivated, and that he probably was spurred on by much of the political diatribes that are going on these days, talking about Trump, equating him to Hitler and things like that. So I don't think this is the last we'll see of crazies out there trying to do this.
First of all, I like that he said that. I don't think that this is the last that we're going to see, because I don't think that this is going to be it either. But yeah, here we are. You hear this guy speaking about this rhetoric, right? That has been out there, and we've been discussing this ever since that first stream that we did after the first, one where I played all those videos, right? For you guys that could hear them, but it was stuff like we have to go out there and put we got to go out there and put a bullet in Trump. You know what I'm saying, bro? It was all kind of some crazy things that were being said on national television. And I'm like, how are people going to sit here and say, hey, that, that nothing you guys have been saying possibly led to these things happening, right? And can you kind of give your initial thoughts on that, bro, and how you feel about all these things that have been stated about Donald Trump over these last 8 years, pretty much? And do you think that has in some way, shape, form, or fashion kind of helped create this climate where we could be having 2 assassination attempts in 2 months?
I think it's kind of interesting. 2 things. One, is going to sound like a joke, but I am actually kind of serious when I say this. I think it's funny how far left oddballs who were always shrieking about the Second Amendment and how bad it was, all of a sudden they're picking up arms. Really weird. The other thing is, yeah,
bro,
they've certainly.
He was over in Ukraine, bro. Right?
Wow, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Wow.
Oh, you didn't know that? Nah. Well, look, we are giving him some. You see, look, I bet you Leon loves when I be bringing this stuff up. Yes, 100%. Bro, he was over in Ukraine, and apparently that's where the footage of him in the BlackRock commercial came from. But no, he's look, he's right there in DC and in Kiev. Yo, he was over there trying to take up arms, bro, and fight with the people.
Wow.
Right? So, hey, there you have it. But
yeah, this is certainly emboldened the wrong type of Americans,
Crazy, bro.
I was reading what Austin said. Yeah, I'm not surprised. See, that's the funny part too. I was gonna do this on my channel, but I was telling Sky, like, I already know you're gonna be way more prepared than me for this because I'm just so unplugged, bro. And I hate to sound like a lazy ass, but he is certainly me 10 years ago. This used to be me, man, where I was like, yo, and now I'm just like, thank God for the younger generation who can put this old head up on game. Because, bro, I'm just so I'm tired of it, man, and I just want everybody to have better conversations about this stuff. But to answer your question, like the conversation we're having now with the people, to answer your question, man, emboldening Americans, emboldening the wrong type of Americans, right? That's what they've been doing. And it's such a interesting way of programming because it's a slow rollout of different strategies.
Absolutely.
Right? And it goes through entertainment, we're talking movies, TV, music, and obviously through the news. And there was a time when people kind of turned their backs on mainstream news and they started looking towards social media, because social media was largely telling the truth, right? Because it was being controlled by the people. And we kind of knew who to look to for certain information. Then they took that over.
Yeah.
So now we're just having to fight harder and harder to dig into.
But that was one that the people didn't really know about, bro.
Was that
right? No, I don't think people really knew or even know now that social media has been taken over to that extent.
I think some kind of do. I think it's not, it doesn't seem as massive as it should be, but yeah, I think you're probably onto something with that, because people still kind of look at it like, you see what I read? And it's like, bro, no. Social media has now become the second arm of legacy media.
Oh, I said, don't fucking come at me with no John Campion shit, yo. You know what I'm saying?
The facts, exactly, right?
You can get out of here.
The Collider said, like, nah, bro.
Like, man,
Nah.
Get out of here, bro. Get out of here. But nah, yo, I just look, I'm glad that you still willing to have these conversations, right? And that
Have to.
We still got a little bit of vigor, you know what I'm saying? Because you already know, once I know that I'm about to do a stream on something, it's a wrap, you know what I'm saying? Because especially these, I gotta come prepared, you know, because people be hopping in the chat, you know what I'm saying, and he be getting thick, and I be needing to, you know, go to the receipts, you know what I'm saying? So
facts.
right, so I want to play something, because this was interesting. This was a reporter asking the White House press secretary about whether or not they feel that, you know, some of the things that have been being said has kind of led to this, and whether they should kind of change up some of the things that they're saying, right? And let's go to that now.
2 days since somebody allegedly tried to kill Donald Trump again. And you're here at the podium in the White House briefing room calling him a threat. How many more assassination attempts on Donald Trump until the president and the vice president and you pick a different word to describe Trump other than threat?
Peter, if anything from this administration, I actually completely disagree with the premise of your question, the question that you're asking. It is also incredibly dangerous in the way that you're asking it, because American people are watching. And to say that from an administration who has consistently condemned political violence, from an administration where the president called the former president and was grateful that he was okay, from an administration who has called out January 6th, called out the attack of Paul Pelosi, called out and said we need to lower the temperature after the Butler incident, and now for you to make that kind of comment in your question, because your question involved a comment and a statement, and you know, it is that is also incredibly dangerous. When
Yo, y'all tell me that shit wasn't hilarious,
Wow.
bro.
Wow.
The question you're asking, look, the fact that you're even asking that question. Yo, what the fuck is going on? So look, pretty much, let me get this straight. So all you got to do is come out and say, hey, I condemn political violence, y'all. And after somebody shot at Trump, you say, hey, Trump, I'm glad you're okay. You know what I'm saying? And you can put the phone down and just go right back to calling this dude an existential threat to democracy over and over and over again. Right? This is crazy, bro. What's your thoughts on that question? And yo, because that was a crazy question, right? That was a dangerous question. It was dangerous. Right?
the question itself was so dangerous that I felt as if I need to shield myself from the I can't even joke about it. The question was amazing, and I'm glad he pressed her on it. You know, I want to be funny, but I'm just gonna have to be for real, straight up for a second, man. Like that was so incredibly unprofessional. That response.
Absolutely.
It was so.
Now I feel bad for laughing.
No,
No, I don't.
No, yeah, like it's a laughable response. Like that response deserves ridicule. But I kept looking at her and I was just like, how unprofessional can you be? It's a simple question. And I long for the days when you would see a politician where even if they were full of shit, I long for the days where politicians knew how to conduct themselves in a manner of speech and be orators of the great language of English to where I just feel as though I'm in front of, near royalty. I long for those days. I miss that. I kind of like history and I kind of like politics in a way. And, in the back of my mind, it's a part of our lives. So I long for the politician who says something to the effect of, well, the reason that I say the word threat is because, and then they just kind of extrapolate, and it's like, damn, they just fed me some bullshit, but I'll be a mother effer if I wasn't rocking with the verbiage, the articulation. She was stumbling, fumbling, flopping, and waffling, man. It was insane.
The
And then
question.
she went straight into victimhood mode, bro. Victimhood mode. Like what he said to her was truly dangerous. Like he pulled out a gat.
And cocked it, right?
Yeah, like come on. What's up with that's crazy. That was crazy. Oh my God. Yeah. Mm-mm-mm.
That was almost as bad as when I heard that I frightened somebody with my speech the other day. I was like, a grown man. It's like, bro, you're frightened? Yeah, I frightened
Oh
you, bro.
yeah, yeah.
But
Yeah.
anyway, I ain't about to go on all that. But now look, like this rhetoric thing is crazy, y'all, because nobody wants to seem to. I mean, it seems that nobody wants to take the blame for this. Here's another. I think this is Dana Bash, right? Whose name's been coming up in the news a bit recently after she interviewed Kamala Harris, right? But let's look at what happened here.
He doesn't indeed. I want to get to the apparent assassination attempt the second time against President Trump. He just weighed in an interview with Fox News Digital, blaming both President Biden and Vice President Kamala Harris for the second attempt on his life.
Well, everything is political right now. Look, they have each separately, even President Biden today, when he came out and spoke to reporters on his way out to the helicopter, said that he is very glad that the Secret Service was able to do their job, that he's very glad that former President Trump wasn't hurt, and Kamala Harris said the same thing. Everything is politicized in this environment, so it's not surprising that that is what he said. There's absolutely, again, no basis in fact that they were behind this at all. We don't know much about this guy yet at all, other than he was somebody who was trying to find a way in his mid to late 50s, go and serve on the front lines of Ukraine, and he obviously had some anti-Trump posts, but that's has nothing to do with Kamala Harris and Joe Biden.
Hey, nothing to do with the rhetoric, right? Nothing to do with the rhetoric. So
that's interesting that was that a clip from another channel put on OAN, or was that straight from OAN?
I think that might have been on OAN, if I'm not mistaken.
I know it was on it because sometimes like they stream other news at times. But if that was straight from OAN, that's odd that they're taking that stance. The hell?
Right. But yeah, like all you're hearing now is, look, the rhetoric hasn't been bad, right? Like it's not what's going on, right? It ain't been that bad. We're not really calling this dude names like that, right? Let's check this out.
You know, let's stop this both sides stuff. It is not both sides. It is one clear side.
Trump is an existential threat to our democracy.
Look, are they a threat to democracy? Yes.
Trump is a existential, urgent threat to our democracy.
Against Donald Trump, because he is an existential threat to the country.
Donald Trump left us the worst attack on our democracy since the Civil War.
Like MAGA in general, they are threats to us domestically.
And he needs to be shot. Stop.
What else do you suggest?
Murder.
Overnight. What did you say?
Murder.
He has to be eliminated.
We know how to fight. We like a good fight.
Donald Trump and the MAGA Republicans representing extremism.
What is the greatest national security threat to the United States? It's Donald Trump.
His danger to our country and the world.
He shouldn't be trying to overturn elections, overthrow the government, and inciting insurrection.
There has been violence. The rhetoric has become more violent.
President Trump and his supporters have contributed to this violent rhetoric.
Do you expect to hear anything from the Trump campaign about toning down the rhetoric?
Political violence, Democrats don't think is a good idea, only Republicans.
Violence has increased into Donald Trump's own actions.
What is he doing with this divisive language?
He is destructive to our democracy.
Donald Trump, I think we should all question the rhetoric.
That is a threat to this country.
Man, and that didn't even have my favorite one. Was we just got to go out there and put a bullet in Trump. You remember that, bro?
Yes, bro. Crazy.
We just got to go out there and put a bullet in Trump. I'm like, what?
Crazy, man. Crazy. But he said something about a bloodbath in regards to like some business deal.
Yeah, he was talking about the tariffs, bro.
Yeah, the tariffs, and everybody was like, "Oh my God!" He said bloodbath, and it's like, "Oh my God!" That's the one thing I'd say that Trump has done that's stupid to me, and it's been that his skills at being an orator can improve. Like he has to know that each verb, each noun, each pronoun, each syllable that comes out of his freaking mouth is being overly analyzed, chopped, and screwed. So if I were him, I would take more long pauses in life and I would search through my mental Rolodex, my mental thesaurus until I can figure out a sentence that is perfectly profound to where they have to fumble, flop, and act a damn fool to try to make this perfect sentence out to be something bad. You're going to have to do some work fucking with Leon. Excuse my French.
Yo, look, I got more stuff to share, man, because we got two more. You want to hear from Al Sharpton first, or you want to hear from Hillary first?
Oh shit! Hold on, I gotta flip a coin. Give me a second. I'm dead ass about to flip a coin.
You want to hear from Al Sharpton first?
Who's heads, who's tails?
Hillary's heads, bro.
All right, damn, we can hear from Hillary first.
Okay, this was Hillary. Listen, y'all, I swear to y'all.
Nah, we gotta go her last then. I already know it's crazier than Al's.
Okay, all right, cool.
We're gonna go Al first.
Look,
I can just tell it's crazier. By the way, it started.
Look, this is what Al Sharpton said in terms of Donald Trump being a danger to black people.
And when you look at the fact that he is now admitting they made up a story, as you say, quoting him, that the media wouldn't cover. Maybe the media didn't cover it because there was no story. It didn't exist. But again, this is consistent with Trump's campaign. Let's not forget Donald Trump as president called Haiti and several African countries S-hole countries. You also have to put into the factor in that if you are someone that is anti-Haitians in Springfield or coming in to think you're defending the people of Springfield whose pets are being eaten up, any black walking around Springfield looks Haitian. I mean, it is racist. It is a clear threat to people. And just like I denounce whoever's trying to assassinate Donald Trump, for whatever reasons, they should denounce the fact that they are inciting nuts to feel that they can go into Springfield and save pets. That's those kinds of jaded thinking is what leads to killings. I did the funerals in Buffalo, New York, of a mass killer that felt he had the right to target blacks. I've been to others and did eulogies. This is dangerous. This is a threat to people. And the same time we denounce what apparently has happened as a threat to Donald Trump, we should denounce what is apparently a threat to blacks and particularly Haitians in Springfield, Illinois.
Okay, y'all. First of all, that was after Trump got shot at again. And not only that, I don't know about you, Leon, but apparently I look Haitian now, bro. If I'm in Springfield, Ohio, right?
That's wild, bro.
I,
This man just
bro,
said we all look alike.
I could be walking around, bro, and somebody could mistake me for a Haitian, bro. Right? It don't matter what I dress like, what I
The
walk
fashion,
like,
the culture,
right?
the accent, nothing.
Nothing. It's just, hey, I'm black. That's a Haitian right there. Hey, you was right to call the Al Sharpton one first, man, because this is more funny. But Hillary, man, it's just, but bro, back to Aldo. Look, how does that strike you, bro? Like knowing that we can't even talk about what's going on in Springfield, Ohio with the migrant situation without it being dangerous for black people.
It's nuts, man. It's like you can't. Here's the thing. We don't want to be coddled, man. At least I don't. I don't want to be coddled. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't think black people at large want to be coddled. And I also don't think we want to be lumped in with sorry, I just read something. I also don't think we want to be lumped in with everybody that's allegedly black either, if they're committing crimes. It's because this has nothing to do with race. If you're committing a crime and you're from a specific area or country, then that's it. You're from there, and that's how you're being described. Just like all Hispanics, people of Latin descent, they're not all upset when people name, let's say, Mexicans, or people name Cubans, or people name whatever, people who come from other countries and across the border, and they commit crimes. Every Latin isn't picking up a freaking pitchfork and a sign and marching down the street upset because you name Mexicans and other, cultural Hispanics. That's not what's happening. Like, we can all differentiate the criminals from whatever, and people just name people from certain regions because of the politicized nature of the border policies. People are being specific because they're saying, hey, look, our country is being overrun by outsiders, illegal outsiders. And it's okay to say that. Doesn't make you racist. It doesn't make you culturalist. It doesn't make you anything but someone who is just talking about the law. If you come into any country, and I say this all the time, if you go to France, you can't become a Frenchman without going through strict legal processes, because they really, really care about their culture. They care about the everything about their environment. They care about it. They care about outsiders coming in and respecting that. And I appreciate that. I think every country should respond in that manner to outsiders, as should the United States of America. We don't all look alike, bro. Al Sharpton
tripping for real, bro. That was crazy. He said all black people look like Haitians out there.
I just want to ask him, like, what type of American is the most dominant American globally as far as influence in terms of fashion, entertainment, swagger, dating, relationships? it's going to be the brothers from America. Like, it's us, man. Like, we influence so much of, especially via hip hop, so much of the world and Americana, man. America, period. But if we're being specific, it's definitely our influences, our fingerprints, not Haitian blacks, not African blacks, not Caribbean blacks. Like, come on, man. And there's nothing, I have nothing against any of those things I'm naming. I'm just saying there's a difference between us all. Like, a Jamaican isn't going to be like, a Jamaican isn't going to be like, you know, because you could say that he could say the same about a black Jamaican.
Yeah.
And a black Jamaican would probably be like, nah, brethren. Nah, brethren. Me don't want to be lumped in with them. You know? So, and I wouldn't blame them. Like, it's nothing negative. It's just there are differences.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Right. Now, once again, that was after he said, apparently there's been a second attack. You know what I'm saying? But from what I'm about to play from your girl, man, this was after Trump got the second assassination attempt, right? Mind you guys, this is afterwards, not before. This is afterwards.
And I don't understand why it's so difficult for the press to have a consistent narrative about how dangerous Trump is. The late, great journalist, Harry Evans, one time said that, journalists should, really try to achieve objectivity. And by that, he said, I mean, they should cover the object. Well, the object in this case is Donald Trump. His demagoguery, his danger to our country and the world, and stick with it.
Hey, she said, apparently, bro, there's not enough Trump slander in the zeitgeist. She said, I don't get it. Why isn't it
That's wild
to just stick to the narrative? Right? We need more.
That's crazy, man.
We need more Trump slander, bro. Hold on, man. Let me do this real quick, bro. Bro, we need more, bro. That's crazy, bro. Look, can you, bro? What's your thoughts, bro?
I know why you're laughing, bro, because I'm stunned, bro.
Bro, what? Hold up, man. I'm about to,
hold up. And this is after?
This is after.
That's crazy.
Bro, hold up. I'm about to play this one more time, bro. Because this is after. Leon, that's why I started laughing, bro. Before I was like,
that's
crazy. I'm like, I need y'all to chill.
And before you play this, man, I just have to say this. Think about this, man. Think about this, y'all. Think about this. Think about this. They hate violent language coming from their enemies, right? The right wing and all of that, whatever. They hate it. They hate if they incite violence. They hate if they seemingly, all the BS that they constantly say. But yet she's about to say this, the same thing that they always do and said, that the clips that you've already seen, inciting violence, saying violent language, and placing a target on a guy's back. But they hate these things, but they do these things. She
said, hey, look, hold up. I need to play this one more time just for clarification's sake, just so y'all can understand what she was saying, right?
And I don't understand why it's so difficult for the press to have a consistent narrative about how dangerous Trump is. The late, great journalist, Harry Evans.
Wait a minute. Even think about that first fucking sentence, bro. I don't understand why it's so difficult for the press to maintain a consistent narrative.
I thank you for
What are
saying
you,
that,
the
'cause I
press's
literally
mom? What are you, their mom?
that and they've already have. They
Bro,
already have.
but it's
That's the other
like,
thing I was gonna say is
what
they
kind of
all did.
fucking statement is that, bro?
It's well, yeah, like you said. Number one, are you their? Is their that's their
Are you their
handler?
owner? Bro, that's
That's
what
their
I'm
handler talking
saying.
to them. That's number one. That's their handler. But number two, bro,
They have been.
they have been. They have been. They've been doing it already.
For 8 fucking years, bro. Hold on, man. Look, all right, I'm gonna let it play, but I'm sorry, that first part just got to me a little differently this time. I'm like, yo, why are you talking to the press like that anyway?
Facts.
I don't understand why it's so difficult, right? Listen to the way she said difficult. She sounded like a Karen.
Bro, she sounded like somebody who would slap the shit out of the press if she saw him.
Right?
Like, you piece of shit.
Hold up, but yeah, I'm gonna let her finish. Sorry, y'all.
And I don't understand why it's so difficult for the press to have a consistent narrative about how dangerous Trump is. The late, great journalist, Harry Evans, one time said that, journalists should, really try to achieve objectivity. And by that, he said, I mean, they should cover the object. Well, the object in this case is Donald Trump. His demagoguery, his danger to our country and the world, and stick with it.
Bro, that's after, bro.
She wasted no time. She was like, they were like, this just in. Former President Donald Trump has just been an assassination attempt on his life one more time 2 months later. Two times in 2 months, man. Blah, blah, blah. What do you think about this? What do you think, Miss Clinton? And she's like, fuck all that. Anyway, so why aren't you guys sticking to the motherfucking script? How far up does my hand have to be in order to operate your mouth? You have to say he's a threat to democracy. You're not saying it enough.
Look, this is crazy, bro. I do want to move on to the next topic though, because I just wanted to share some of the rhetoric with you guys that's been going around, because it's been a bit wild, y'all. Like we see these things, and I think a lot of people just kind of, we're not plugged in, right? Everybody's so busy off in their own little bubbles, and I get it. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm off in my own little bubble too. But at the same time, there does need to be these conversations taking place, because you guys, like, this is an important time. This is the most important fucking election that I can recall, and it needs to be all hands on deck, yo. So everybody needs to be out there informing themselves and then voting. I don't care who y'all vote for, but what we not about to do is just about to let all this shit be going off like just unchallenged, man. Because you don't even see people talking about this, man. Like, everybody just talking about Trump, bro. Like, it's wild. Blaming him for everything, blaming him for getting shot at.
Facts. Like, and I want footage where somebody can point to me like a stream of footage where this guy is saying stuff that's dangerous. I'm not saying like he's saying things that are asshole-ish or things that are rude or things that are mean or like, oh, he's such a rude little New Yorker. Ooh, no, I mean like dangerous, threat to democracy, violent, And I don't mean like you have to infer it and you have to read between the lines and you have to, it's encoding. No, I mean straight up in the same way that they talk about him, like straight up verbiage.
Bro, this man already got elected and left office,
Bro,
like they're acting like
I
this
thought he
dude
was
put
still
everybody in chains, bro.
facts. I thought he was still there.
I thought
The
he
way
was
they act.
still making decisions. Talking about
Facts.
we won't go back, and y'all been in charge 12 of the last 16 years. Anyway, before we move on to the last topic, we got HMDS in the building. What's going on? Hold my dual shock. How y'all doing?
What's up, guys? First off, y'all are killing it. These are great clips. Second off, I am so stupid. I was in your last stream. I'm like, I guess he'll just call me whenever he's ready.
Tripping, bro. Tripping. Nah, I was like, yo, just let me know if you wanted to come through, and I was gonna shoot you the link. And then I actually sent it, and then when you was like, yo, you tried to join the old stream, I was like, what the hell? And then I went back and actually hadn't gone through. So I sent it again, and we got you in here. Glad to have you, Andy. How you feeling, bro?
Feeling good, man. Love this. Dude, you're so prepared, y'all. Y'all are so professional. It's awesome.
Hey, man, look, these kind of streams
he
are
keeps
important.
saying this about us, and I'm like, are we?
Like, bro, if y'all only knew how last second this shit comes together.
But you pull it together.
Hey, each and every time, yo. But yeah, man. What's your thoughts so far, Andy? How are you feeling? And now that this has happened for a second time after we said it was going to happen again, the last time that we talked about this.
Yeah, last time. I'm thinking that by the third time, it doesn't even make the news because this is like come and gone. The next day, they were like blaming him, and they're like, "Well, I mean, if he wasn't saying stuff."
It's weird, man. It's weird. Like they're literally, yeah, you know. I mean, he was the first one to incite violence, right? You know, he was the first one. When you literally had somebody say, "We got to go out there and put a bullet in Trump," I've never heard somebody. Again, yo, I'm about to pull that video back up, man, because y'all think I'm joking.
But that's the thing, like they're upset about like inferences, and you got people just straight up be like, "We gotta murder this dude," and they're like, "You could have meant anything. It's just a turn of phrase, you know."
That's what I'm saying, bro. Like, I want somebody to put together a clip of him straight up saying, like, directing violence towards his enemies, like just straight up. And I'm not talking like they tried to do that one thing where he said, "I'd like to punch somebody in the face," and it was like it was like a whole sentence that was put together, and it was like context before and after that was like, oh, he was just kidding around type of shit.
It's crazy. Is it just me, or does it feel like people are way too chill about 2 assassination attempts in 2 months?
That's what I'm saying.
Like, it feels like we should be freaked out, right?
Yes.
America's like not even pretending to be first world anymore. They're like, oh yeah, we're hanging with all the slums. You know, we have political assassination attempts. You know, it's hyperinflation. It's all good.
It's crazy, bro. It's like we're watching the empire kind of sink, and we're just like memeing it.
I've never felt less homesick for South Africa because y'all are just bringing it. You know.
He said less homesick. Oh man, you trying to say we all look alike? We all look alike?
Yeah, Al Sharpton says I'm allowed to. Yeah. I thought that was wild, dude. That clip was wild.
That's crazy, right?
Dude, I can't wait because they keep talking about this alien stuff dropping, like typical stuff out in the news today. It's like there's going to be some grand inquiry on UFOs, and we're going to come clean about it. And I can't wait to hear Al Sharpton be like, we got to remember when people talk about little gray men, we know what they're really saying, and that's dangerous,
Right. They trying to say that we all look the same when we're talking about these gray men.
I think it's crazy that like now there's just one type of black. That's crazy.
Right?
Like
Now we're a monolith.
I was about to say they're not joking about it. You're all going to be a monolith whether you like it or not.
Hey,
right.
Look, they be talking about what Trump be saying, right? Listen to this shit.
Sit back on the sidelines and say, oh, well, don't worry, this will all work itself out. They're still going to have to go out and put a bullet in Donald Trump.
Yo, that's crazy. Hold up, but listen to this.
Trump not only have had the codes, but now having the classified information for Americans and being able to put that out and share it in his resort with anyone and everyone who comes through should be terrifying to all Americans, and he needs to be stopped.
He needs to be shot. Stop. What, yo, what the fuck is wrong with y'all? Bro, this is crazy.
Yeah. I'm at a loss for words. Every time I hear that, I'm like, damn, bro. Like, the one chick, you know, she can get away with saying Freudian slip, I suppose, right?
Right?
But the other guy, like, they're good. Yo.
They're going to have to go out there and put a bullet in Donald Trump.
Or you think Hillary's sitting there, like, raging on the phone trying to dispute the charge, you know? Like,
here's the crazy part. Like, at this point, I think I understand why Trump doesn't give a shit about what he says sometimes, because he's like, they get away with saying all types of stuff, right? They can literally say that, and then people will talk it away as if it's a metaphor of some kind. Like, oh, he didn't really mean like an actual, you know, firearm and an actual bullet.
He just meant like old Yeller. He got to take him behind his head and put a bullet in him.
But it's worse than that.
His career, you know, like maybe kinda.
But it's worse than that, because do you remember like last year when they were firing Tucker Carlson? They you can't say anything, dude. JD Vance said he doesn't want America to live with like school shootings like they're a matter of fact or a fact of life. They just edited out the part where he says he doesn't want, and edited it so it sounds like they're just a fact of life. So even if
they've done that to Trump so many times, bro.
And then even if you say nothing on the subject, like I'm looking it up. Do you remember that 14 words thing with Tucker Carlson? Where they said he said a phrase that was 14 words, and they found another phrase that's 14 words that's some like German, you know, like Weimar Republic saying. And they're like, so because he spoke a sentence that had 14 words, we know what he's really saying. It's this racist thing that that little mustache man was saying. So it's like, don't even use the same number of words as another phrase.
Yeah. This shit's crazy.
Yeah. Reference to the popular white supremacist slogan. Yeah. And it was like, bro. And then all of a sudden there's like a Wikipedia article about the 14 words. I want to know what the 13 words are. And like, what's the 15, the sequel, the 15 words, you know?
Right. Man, it really goes to show. No, I think that Leon is right about Trump not really caring, because they're just gonna, bro, like at this point, even if you don't slip up, they're gonna make it seem like you did anyway. And they're just gonna continue to do it, yo. Like I was watching this thing like with David Duke. Like they keep asking this man, will he rebuke David Duke? Like he hasn't done it like a dozen times already. You know what I'm saying? Like he keeps doing it over and over again. And then every time he going, hey, look, are you willing to rebuke David Duke and your ties? I mean, and, you know, and his ties to white supremacy, bro. And it's just like, bro, you're asking the question as if he already hasn't done it.
Have you seen the clip? Have you seen the clip where they have like a whole, it's like a They put together the mashup of him rebuking David Duke 11 times.
Bro, it's like they just
He's
still
done it so
ask
much that they have a
questions.
damn mashup now. Like you can damn near make a rap song out of it. Like how many times he denounced white supremacy, David Duke, etc. It's quite interesting.
Right. But yeah, man. Now that we're here though, and we're talking about, you know, the influence on the media and all that type of stuff, we can go into the last topic, which is, you know, who watches the Watchmen, right? Because where is this stuff coming from? Right? Because if you look at it now, right, we're in a place where there's like a lot of weird stuff going on right now. I want to play this video with one of the finance guys that works for Donald Trump. Manages a lot of money. Let's see what this guy had to say, because I think it's very interesting.
I'm finance director for Donald Trump in Mississippi, so we raise money. I've talked to a number of very wealthy individuals that God has blessed that say, I can't give money to Donald Trump because the FBI would show up at my door. Wow. And think of what you just said. If you make a legitimate, honest campaign contribution to the Republican nominee for president, the FBI will come to your door. And they acknowledge that's a reality.
In the United States of America.
In the United States of America.
So apparently it's going around in some elite circles that if you donate money for Donald Trump, the FBI is going to come to your door, especially if it's a significant amount of money, I'm guessing, right? But you guys want to kind of speak on that? I'll ask you first, Leon. How does that strike you with one of Trump's finance directors claiming that the FBI is going door to door for people that are donating to Donald Trump?
See, this is the sort of thing that freaks people out from participating in this sort of thing, right? In politics in general, it makes people hesitant to put their name on paperwork. It makes people hesitant to put their name digitally in terms of endorsing, voting, etc. These are things that I've thought about, like being kind of a futurist in my own right. I think about these sort of things, like what if there's a database that's collecting that sort of action, right? And I hate to put it out there because I don't want to discourage anybody from doing the right thing, which is voting, because I'm going to vote regardless. But it's a worrisome thing. Here's the kicker, though, the thing that we should be paying attention to. The so-called threat to democracy keeps getting threatened by the powers that be. If he's such a threat, then why are you taking such great lengths in order to suffocate him? The threat, he would be, in other words, if he's such a threat, he would just be powerful enough to stop this from even happening to him. Like that, it doesn't make any sense that someone who is being, you're trying to swat him like a fly every chance you get. But he's the threat. It makes no sense to me. You're not coming out and telling us why he's a threat. You're just saying he is, and then you're trying to squash him. You're saying he is, and then you're trying to dismantle and disrupt his constituents, the people that want to help him. I don't get it.
Right? Yeah, I don't get it either, man. And it's just been like a lot of like weird stuff surrounding this entire situation. Andy, you want to kind of touch on that a bit? Trump's finance director claiming that in some circles they're saying that if you vote for Trump, the FBI is going to come show up at your doorstep.
Yeah, I just saw a video this morning of FBI agents going to a guy's house because he had posted something on like a meme or whatever. So it doesn't shock me at all, especially, do you remember what, like 2 years ago, I think it was like Gibson Go, or like one of the like GoFundMe was declining, like, or Visa was declining GoFundMes for, I can't remember who it was. I think it might have been like Kyle Rittenhouse or something. And so You know, you weren't allowed to give money because Visa or whatever felt it was, you know, not congruent with their stance on the matter. I mean, it's like the last semblance of legitimacy, making people think that, you know, maybe there's something there. And it's like a hollowed out system where the only thing that is left is the way you used to feel about these institutions. But if you actually look at the actions of the institutions, you'd recognize they're not what you thought. Or, I mean, and that's if they ever were. But it's kind of wild because just a couple years ago, I think you'd say that most Americans pretty uniformly trusted the state, right? Like there was a sense of, you know, if the police are there, if the FBI is there, they have the country's or your best interest at heart. And now that you can just see the damage of that being eroded, it's pretty scary.
Wait, was I on mute again?
Yeah.
Yeah.
God. Anyway, I was like, absolutely, right? Those were great points, Andy. What I wanted to add is that there's just strangeness all around, like just all encompassing in this entire situation. With the thing that happened the first time with what's his name? Thomas Shelby, was that his name? The first.
No, that's just another guy from Peaky Blinders. I don't think it's Thomas Shelby.
Thomas Shelby. Oh. It was something Crooks, right? Crooks.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I think it was Crooks. Yeah.
Whatever that dude is. He's the fucking Peaky Blinders, eh? Well, no. Yeah, that guy. He was in a Black Rock. Right?
Yeah.
And I thought that was odd. And then I found out that this guy was in a Black Rock commercial. And I was like, okay. You know what I'm saying? Like, so I'm going to play this like little part from this ad. You guys check this out. But he's clearly pictured in here. Yeah.
The action is to appeal to what leaders? What organization?
All right. Let's say that somebody was trying to assassinate Andy. Right? And then we found out that both assassins from the two attempts had worked at McDonald's before. Right? Like, and we're in ads. How long before we would think that McDonald's had some kind of beef with Andy? You know what I'm saying? And like he probably stole the secret sauce and was trying to leak it or something. Like, would anybody think that was weird?
Absolutely. Funny you said beef. I just, the pun's just right there. Anyway, right? But yeah.
Hey, real beef. You know what I'm saying? No, but just all jokes aside, is that not fucking strange?
Very.
It's almost beyond belief.
Yes.
I do it the other way.
That's a hell of a coincidence.
If you had two guys from the same place of work just go into McDonald's and get the same order, you'd be like, that's weird, right? Like it doesn't, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you're like, that's a weird pattern. Like, does everybody at this place eat the same thing? Like,
all right, man. Yeah, I don't quite know how to feel about that. I did have to bring that to the forefront for you guys, but that was a bit strange to me. Seeing that the first kid was in the Black Rock commercial too.
Is it only people on YouTube talking about that though? How is that not just like an interesting fact? Fun fact, guys. Both of these guys are in Black Rock commercials. If you're on like CNN, MSNBC, it's just like, even just to try and dispel it, you would think you'd want to get ahead of it, right?
Absolutely. And put the people's minds at ease.
Well, that's the crazy part about that organization. they try to remain, it seems as though, this shadowy organization that's only talked about briefly, right?
Yeah.
I don't think even people know that they exist. The existence of them is still a mystery.
Yeah.
And they own very large portions of the world.
Yeah. And our ideas and our media and our
Yeah. Man, but yo, it ain't even just us talking about this. We got another cool table member stopping through. We got the homie, the good Austin in the building. What's going on, dog?
What up, what up, what up, what up? I make sure I didn't start talking and I was muted.
What it do?
What's good, homies? Leon, I sent you something. I tried to upload it, but I think since we're live right now. Oh, wait, no, it's uploaded. All right, cool. The thing you asked me to do is upload it on your side of things, just so I could say that before I forget, because I'm very sleepy right now. But this discussion is,
brother.
of course. This discussion is been on my mind in the forefront. Like, me and my lady have been talking about it a lot because she's definitely on the other side of things as far as politics goes. But that's expected. And I'm having to work with her, but like just having debates and not like having fights and arguments and stuff. As far as like when you're able to talk about politics, like, hey, we could talk about these things. Like, obviously, we know we love each other. So that's one thing. Like, I'm learning to do with the other side. And so hopefully people who watch us who may have different views or whatever may not agree with us and what we're saying, they can at least be open-minded to it, right? Because that's one thing that's like missing from everywhere. Just have an open mind at least. So many people just denounce everything they hear, or they won't at least give it the time of day. Like, it's one thing to disagree with it immediately, but like, can you at least, hey, I have a preconceived notion about that. Let me backtrack and let me try and hear them out. So no, I'm obviously I agree with everything that you guys are saying. Another question though I wanted to bring up, since we're talking about this second would-be shooter, how did he? This apparently this golf trip was like a last minute thing. Like, Trump was just like, oh yeah, let's go play golf. Like guys do on a Sunday. Especially if you own a golf course, like, yeah, let's go. And how did he know? How did this guy know that Trump was going to be there if it was a last minute golf outing? You know what I'm saying? That's another weird thing. So is Secret Service doing their job, or was someone in the Secret Service or somebody who knew Trump get info to this guy and tell him he's going to be golfing that day? Like, who else knew?
It's glad you asked that question, because
segue
this real quick. Let me bring this up. This was a tweet from Health Ranger. You guys can check him out on Twitter. Very large following, part of news outlet. Says a source tells me the leak of Trump's whereabouts is coming from Homeland Security, not the U.S. Secret Service. Homeland Security is leaking location details to FBI, and the FBI is running the assassins. This is crazy. The entire top leadership of the FBI is desperately trying to figure out how to eliminate Trump, while the loyal elements of the U.S. Secret Service are trying to stop him. Homeland Security and U.S. State Department are full-on treasonous criminals. Ops at this point. If Homeland can't eliminate Trump soon, State Department will make sure a war begins with Russia. If they fail, hundreds of top people within FBI and Homeland are going to either flee the country or be criminally prosecuted under a Trump presidency. This is what's at stake. So when you see stuff like this, right? You guys think that there is motivation to possibly get rid of this guy? And I said the other day when he dropped that video talking about how they was gonna audit the entire federal government. I was like, oh, there you go, right there, right? Like, I mean, anybody, like, yo, I was in the Army, I was in supply, guys. Like, you can't tell me the government don't waste money. I know firsthand.
Yeah.
You cannot tell me that they don't waste money.
But anybody that has any familiarity with the military knows that they fucking waste money, dude.
And I was in supply, which is the worst. which is the
Yeah.
I be trying to tell people, I personally wasted millions of y'all dollars.
He's the
Personally.
guy. He's the guy who you want to be best friends with in the military, to be honest.
You got all the shit, yeah, for sure.
Because
dude.
if you need
one of my
something,
homies, my closest homies, was
he was the plug.
He was the plug. Facts.
Yo, and if y'all
Shout out
need
to him.
something and you got the supply, yo, come through, come see me. Right? You might owe me a favor.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But
you got to kiss the ring.
My brother was bunkmates. My brother was bunkmates with a supply guy.
That's what I'm saying.
You got to kiss the ring.
Kept him hooked up, dude.
Come on, man. Oh, bro, boots, uniform, whatever you need, bro.
Mama's sending cookies overseas for the supply guy. Like,
whatever you need. Whatever you need. So, like, that's been my point, is that I personally know what goes on. So you can't try to pull the wool over my eyes, bro. So when he said, "Oh yeah, we're gonna audit the entire federal government with an outside source," I'm like, bro, ain't no way that they're just gonna let this shit rock. You know what I'm saying? What's going on, Qatar? But yeah, man, that's crazy. Yeah, but what do you guys think about that post? I mean, it seems crazy, but what doesn't seem crazy nowadays?
No, it makes too much sense to me, at least. Like hearing that, I literally just said that and segued into that post. So
see, hey, I'm ready, bro.
it makes too much sense. Man did prep tonight. Good work. Nah, it makes too much sense to me, and to have that level of corruption in the government, like we've all lived through that. You know what I'm saying? Like in your own life, you've experienced some level of corruption and been like, what the fuck? Why is this like that when I've been told it's like this? Like, why am I getting treated this way when I've been told it's like this? You made Andy made the funny point earlier, like, oh, I guess there's just one type of black now. Like, yo, it's the same thing for whites, dude. Like, honestly, like, I remember when I was younger filling out forms, like you had Caucasian, you had like Italian, like you had all these different. Now it's just white when you fill out a form. I'm like, damn, bro, what? Like, where'd Caucasian go, dude? Like, what the fuck? Like so I know what you mean. Like, it feels like, and I try to tell this to other people, it's like they always try to divide us so we can't come together. We can't have some form of coming together. And why am I not surprised that they can't come together in the Secret Service when they're supposed to have one mission to protect like the asset? It's supposed to be non-political, but of course it is political. And when you have no level of like accountability either, when the people who oversee you have no level of accountability, you understand now why back in 2016 or 2020, why Trump was saying the things he was, and the media was making him out to be some heretic with like, yo, we're gonna get rid of the FBI and the CIA, and people are like, what the fuck? But like now it makes so much sense. Like, not necessarily want to get rid of the idea of it or like the role that it plays, but we need to get rid of the people within it. So that goes into what Leon said earlier too. Is like, if he was a better orator, they wouldn't be able to trip him up or use what he says against him so many times, because now it makes so much sense. A lot of the things that he said in previous years, and the way that the spin cycle is wild, and how everything is washed through the media, the mainstream media. So I've been lucky enough, knowing you guys, knowing others, that you got to do your due diligence to find the people who are actually giving you real news. And once you do find those people, or at least you find sites that give you the real news, you feel like liberated in a way, right? And you'd stop following people, stop subscribing to people, stop listening to people who are just talking about bullshit all the time, when you know they're talking about bullshit too. And I've heard many people say this. I want to say it like live on the stream, like, God bless Elon Musk, dude. Because if we didn't have him take over X and like really be transparent about it and be a real person, be an American. I didn't know somebody from a different country originally, like coming over here, like he lived the American dream. And he's like, yo, what the hell are you? we doing? I'm an American too. And like he is the patent American, Elon Musk. He's risen to the top. He's taken no shit, and like he's driven his business on a meritocracy, and like that's what it is. That's what America should be. But when you have politics get into it, like even in sports, there's politics, and when you get into that, you're like, why does this exist here? That should be the same notion in areas of government. Like, why does the politics exist here? It's just supposed to it's supposed to be a function. And I think part of that too is some people being smarter and being aware of like processes and learning things, but we do need more people to just enlighten themselves in general, because when you learn about government and then you start to see the shady shit going on, like yeah, it can be depressing, but the empowering thing for me is that we have the chance to make a change. And if we don't speak out, like you're going to be kicking yourself later on down the road. Same thing with what we do in the entertainment and movie side of things. Like how many people kick themselves for not speaking out, not doing something to be a part of that movement? Like it's the same thing now. You got to be able to speak out on these things. So who watches The Watchmen? Hopefully it's us, dude. Because I know we're watching all those things, and I went right to X as soon as I was the second one happened. I was actually at an event. I'm at an event, and no one's talking about it, which is, I guess, kind of cool because we got to enjoy the. I was at a NASCAR race, and I guess no one cares about politics there. Like we're just like locked into whatever's going on. But as soon as we were out, I got in the car. It was like 6:30, and it had 2 hours had already gone by. I had no clue that there was a second assassination attempt, and I said it in the car, and nobody reacted. I was like, "What is going on right now?" I was like, "Are you kidding me right now? Like, am I living in the upside down? Nobody cares." And I was like, so I kept like revealing details, and like they really didn't. They were just worried about getting out of the parking area. I'm like, Jesus, like we're stuck here. Like at least have a conversation with me, people. But nobody cared, and that's also a main problem with Americans. Like they give us so many distractions, and like whenever the distraction pops up, I'm like, okay, but what's really going on? And I fear that there's not enough of us who ask those questions, and there needs to be more people. You need to get the energy to fight for whatever you do every day that distracts you, because it may not be here if there's a freaking nuclear war with Russia or Iran or whatever. You know what I'm saying? Like that's a real possibility. I'm not trying to be doomsday guy, but that's like a reality. And if it's a 1% chance, you have to take it as an absolute certainty, right?
Yo, and it's funny. I was actually having that conversation with Leon the other day, and we were talking about how quickly shit could have gone left. Like, let's just say if Trump would have, gotten hit in another spot the first time, right? Like, I don't think that we'd be living in the same America that we're in right now.
Dude, Kamala Harris just takes control.
If that had happened, they might have locked the country down, bro. You never know.
Oh shit! And we gotta find them. Meanwhile, they let them get away and shit.
You know what I'm saying?
Or they already killed him. The assassin. You know,
The assassin. They cover it up. But that's the one thing that's nice about the age that we live in now, cell phones, and like it's not a JFK sort of thing where there's no cameras on it and there's no like extra people with video footage, and don't have the technology, don't have the capability. They just have stories, and then stories can be, misled, or people can be invalidated, and then people are offed in some weird way and have some weird car accident. All these things happened back in the day, and the files still weren't released. So there's so many things that have been corrupt in our government that growing up, when you learn about them, you're like, well, what the fuck?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And like for me, I know in my family that one of my great grandfathers was like politically involved. And I was like, oh, that's kind of cool, but I don't think I would ever do that. Like, I don't think I could ever do that. But like, as far as voting, as far as talking about it, like, you have to be able to do that. And whenever things were said online in 2020 and people were being censored all over the place, I was like, man, this is fucked up. Like, they're just asking questions and these people are getting censored, or they're getting blocked, and they're getting taken off of Twitter. And like you said earlier, the president of the United States gets banned off of Twitter. I'm like, what is going on Facebook? Everything. Like, yeah,
Nobody
sure,
cared, bro.
everyone's like, oh, they're a private platform, they get to do what
and
they
it
want.
was all good. It was all fun and games, bro.
And that argument there, though, is it's a private platform, they get to do what they want, they can ban whoever they want. So now that a private entity as Elon Musk, who's not for the same things that you are and won't bend the knee to you, now since it's his platform and he wants to do what he wants, we have to control it and we have to have censorship. And now, like, Democrats are literally out there saying misinformation, like, can be prosecuted and everything. It's like, who's to decide what misinformation is? And they also made up another term for in a court case with RFK Jr. called malinformation, which is the information is true, but it's not like beneficial to whatever argument you got going on. It's like, what the fuck are you talking about? So now the facts are facts, but you don't like it, so we censor,
can't
or
put it out.
Yeah, and it's illegal.
Yeah.
Like, that's not free speech anymore. And that's not literally, it's like, what are we doing, and what are we letting happen as we just, oh, well, this new movie came out and the game's on Sunday. It's like, I don't give a fuck anymore. We're not gonna have anything. And like, oh, cool, you're gonna get to go to the same fucking place, and it's all gonna be subsidized to some fucking private company, and we get to eat our slop everywhere, and we can't grow what we want, and we can't fucking make our own shit anymore. Like, cool, enjoy that. I'm gonna fucking go and rebel as much as I can and join the resistance if I have to. Like, that's what I have to do. Like, I don't want to be a part of that world where everything is controlled by the government, and nobody else should be either. Like, they don't understand what they're asking for when they like vote for all these things and they chime on for all these things. It's like, you don't realize what you want, and like, they're not educated enough to see that their freedoms are being taken away from them when they think that these representatives who weren't voted for and were appointed after they took their elected fucking Democratic nominee out, like, the threat to democracy is everywhere, but it's literally the censorship, the big everything. And when you have conversations with people who are ignorant or don't like want to get involved, they say all the same things that you would, like, oh man, yeah, but they control that, or they control this, and oh yeah, but they all this shit in our food anyways, and then they fucking eat it. It's like, what are you doing? You know that the shit is bad for you. You know that people are lying to you, media, government, wherever. You know that you're paying too much taxes. You know that you're being taken advantage of. You know all this shit, but you won't do anything about it. Like that, so that's why I and it's like, I can't fault them either, because I was in that place for like 8 years. But then you go under lockdowns and all of the things. I have to move to a different state just to feel like I'm free for 3 years. And I come back and then nothing is better. All the roads are worse. And then for years, people would like, yo, there's no income tax. That's why I love it down here in Florida. And people in New York are like, yeah, but our roads are better and this is better because we have that. I come back, no, it's fucking not. So what are we doing? What are we doing? And that is my firsthand account. That is my lived truth. And no one can deny me that. Those are my facts. And anyone who wants to discredit those things, you're fine to. But that is the facts that I'm seeing as an everyday American. As like Leon says, clocks in every day and goes to work. and I have to fucking worry about my tires because I'm just driving over potholes and shit. Traffic is all backed up because the way they rerouted the city makes no sense. Like, there's so much problems going on, and I can only imagine what it's like for a small city like Dayton, Ohio, who's a small population, getting a university-sized population dumped on their into their like city. It's like, this shit is wild, and to be ignorant about it is fine, but you also have to do your due diligence as an American um in this society to be like, all right, well, what is going on? What can I do to help? What can I do to make a difference? Because that's what we're here to do. We're here to help everybody to make a difference in our communities, locally and abroad. But like,
Absolutely.
it's crazy. Sorry, I went on a fucking rant, but it's been on my fucking heart for a while, dude.
Nah, all good. I want to hear from Andy. What's your take on all this? Because I noted with you just coming over to this country recently, right? Like how's all these things been kind of hitting you, and how you feel about what Austin was just saying?
Well, I do want to first and foremost, because I sent you a picture. I just want to say, like, it's so awesome. Like, it gives me such heart, Austin, that you're in a household where you can have debate with your significant other and still love each other. Because there are people trying to tear that apart, trying to make people think that, like, because I sent Sky, I think it's like divorce your Republican husband, like these bumper stickers. It's like, bro, how crazy is that there are people letting politics be more important to them than the people they love, and like proudly like being like, oh, I can't talk to my dad, I had to leave my husband, I can't talk to my kids because of their politics. Like, that's crazy. But so that's awesome. That's just, and that's what we need, because you can't let politics, you can't let the party replace the family, because people will do wild stuff. Then as far as like what I see around here, man, it's crazy, because we talked about this. It feels like a lifetime ago, Sky. And but we talked about this. Yeah, isn't that ridiculous? Like, crazy,
bro. It's probably like on somebody who's not even married.
Oh, 100%, yeah.
Or isn't married to a man.
For sure. But yeah, it was just 2 months ago that the first one went off, and we were talking about this, and like, y'all know my position is like, and I want to know what y'all think. How's your confidence come November? Like, I feel like we're not in Kansas anymore. I feel like this whole country's running on a sense of it can't happen here, but like, that's how we felt in South Africa, and then it does. Like, I mean, look at what's going on in Brazil, what's going on all over the world, like just massive political and economic upheavals. Like, it can happen fast as well. Like, you talk about leaving the NASCAR, people need to I'm not saying be afraid, but people need to keep their head on a swivel, because you'll be surprised. It can happen overnight that you can wake up in a different country where, and I'm sure, like, you guys have, all served. I'm sure you've seen it firsthand too. Like, when the veil of civility is dropped, it's not the same. And all the stuff that we take for granted here, the conveniences, the feeling of safety here, that's not a global norm. That is a privilege of being in America. And sometimes I just see how casual people are about this, like, shooting. Like you said, like, I feel like we should be having a conversation about this. I don't think that you have, even if it was the other way around, like if someone took a shot at Kamala, it's like, we need to talk about it. Like, that's not the kind of country you want to live in. And yet people are like, yeah, just disaffected, like, don't care. And then so it's like, do we think this is the last time this happens? It's a while till the election.
Yeah, no, I definitely do think that they're going to keep trying. And I have stated this multiple times. I think that if they were successful in that first or this second attempt, I think that, the country that we would wake up in would not be the same one that we went to sleep in. 100%.
Just what he said. Yeah, right. Like, it would be completely different next day.
Yeah. And you know, it's funny because, like I said, Leon and I were just talking about that because I was having a conversation with them about because I was dog sitting recently and kind of house sitting too, and I was like this very nice little spot, and we were having a conversation just about like the field that I work in, and Leon just started going off. He was like, "See, people don't fucking realize, like, man, this shit could be over with in a second. Like all this like little nice little stuff going on,
right?
You know what I'm saying? Everybody going to work every day, trying to feed their family and be cool, right? And pay their taxes." He said, "Man, this shit could be over with in a second."
Because it just hit me, man. I'm just like, I'm looking at how everybody's complaining, right? In their air-conditioned spaces with their iPhones and their fucking smartphones and their tablets and their decent cars and their decent jobs. And everybody's complaining about this guy who's supposedly a threat to democracy, right? When in the past 8 years, they've been doing this complaining while he was in office and since he's been out. And I'm just like, I don't understand. Like my career, Sky's career, you know, because, you know, he and I were having the conversation. I was just like, this shit could evaporate like that, man. With a snap of a finger, done.
And it's a wrap.
And people don't understand
everything, bro.
Right?
Everything is gonna be different.
They don't understand.
Food, getting water,
everything.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I don't think people.
I think about that shit all the time, bro. And I mean, we had a glimpse of it during COVID, like when this shit was just gone off the fucking shelves. Like
all they need is an excuse.
That was the veil of civility in fucking our first world country, like right there.
All they need is an excuse, and that's what they're looking for. That's why this whole like the debate process was so funny, because they're not actually asking her
any questions,
any sort of questions about the future. It's just all pandering to the notion that this guy's a threat, and he's dumb, he's a threat, he's an idiot, he's a racist, he's all these different things, but we're not discussing what is going on with Americans in the future. And I'll just say this, right? So, because there was a question asked about, you know, what do we think is going to happen in November? Well, they tried to get him politically. They tried to get him legally. They tried to get him by character assassination. Now they're just trying outright assassination. Mm-hmm. So it's like they're trying all the quadrants. They're trying all the dimensions.
This is actually a good segue, right? Because I got a couple more videos that I want to get through before we close this down, or it's a few more actually. But
I just want to say, from now until November, I don't think Trump should play golf. All right, I'm just saying, homie.
Nah, man. Trump gonna move how he gonna move.
Go play mini golf, dog. Like, chill. You don't need to be in open fields.
Trump gonna move how he gonna move, and I feel him, because I wouldn't be scared either, bro.
Get him an armored golf cart right fucking now, okay? That's what I want to see. All armored golf cart, dude. Bulletproof glass, bulletproof like clubs,
Teflon dye.
Yeah, get him bulletproof fucking golf glove, everything, polo.
Crazy.
Make that shit. Just give him a vest to play in. The back doesn't even say police; it just says Trump 2024. Just murk him out, dude.
But look, let's get to this, because Leon just spoke about they tried to get him politically, and people don't actually realize this. So I want to make sure that I go over a few things just so you guys can see. Check this out real quick.
In a newly released bombshell filing 2 days ago, for the first time, White House records were made public, revealing the fact that Ms. Fani Willis, the district attorney of Fulton County, was actively meeting with Kamala Harris shortly before the state of Georgia indicted President Trump. On February 28th of 2023, the meeting took place somewhere in either the side lawn or the tent of the White House, and it was a long meeting. It was about 5.5 hours long, going from 6:30 all the way up until nearly midnight. And the timing of this particular meeting is very important, which becomes quite evident when we look at a timeline of the events leading up to the actual RICO charges. All the way back in February 11th of 2021, basically about a month after the events of January 6th, Fani Willis sent letters to the governor of Georgia, as well as Georgia's Secretary of State, telling them to preserve certain documents related to a matter of high priority that her office was investigating, meaning that the investigation into President Trump began as early as February of 2021. Now, for the first year, a lot of it was taking place completely out of the public eye, behind closed doors. However, on November 2nd of 2021, it appears that the investigation was taken to the next level, because on that date, Ms. Fani Willis appointed Mr. Nathan Wade to be the special counsel in that particular case.
She was also found to be sleeping with Nathan Wade too, not that long after that. So let's make sure that we address that as well. But yeah, like the DA for Atlanta was down there.
Shout out to the Epoch Times, by the way, and
Right.
they're kind of the guys who are the bigger version of Veritas.
Right.
Whatever happened to Veritas? We can talk about that later.
I have no idea. But yeah, that's Georgia, right? And then he also got tried in New York, right? So here's some footage of the eventual Attorney General Letitia James running on the fact that she was going to prosecute Trump. Like she was saying this openly before she was even elected. So let's check this out real quick.
What is fueling my soul right now is Trump. Will you sue him for us?
Oh, we're going to definitely sue him. We're going to be a real pain in the ass.
I look forward to going into the office of Attorney General every day, suing him, and then going home.
I know my name personally.
Yo,
wild, dude.
Yo, this shit ain't election interference. Like, why is the DA meeting with Kamala Harris right before charges are filed?
Harassment at the very least.
Right.
Over what exactly?
Why is the DA in fucking New York running on the fact, hey, I'm gonna prosecute Trump, like, and being so open about it? But then they was talking about, hey, y'all,
open and cavalier and
bruh, Putin,
passionate.
Y'all, Putin be like, he be prosecuting his political
I know
opponents, right?
Oh, it's like the double standard, and it's like projection, honestly. So, oh, you see in the world what you actually know in yourself, and that they will do whatever they can to get whatever they want, dude. Like, and they actually believe it. Some part of it, I feel like, is like it's like a hypnotization almost, like, right? These people are like mesmerized, and they actually believe the things that they're doing are like right, are the good thing to do, and don't realize that they're like doing bad things, doing wrong things, doing anti-democratic things, doing things that are against what that party stands for, and like what a democratic republic stands for in general. Like, the hysteria of the government is also shocking now. Like, it never used to be this way. That's why I could just chill. But it wasn't Trump who started this. Like, Trump just started being funny and started like making a mockery of a lot of what politics is, and making a joke of these people who are fake in general. Like, and they can put on these facades and feed you the bullshit. But myself and like many others, you live through this, I don't know, this weird Groundhog's Day of just like, oh yeah, another president, nothing's changed. Another president's, nothing's changed. And Trump came and shit changed, dude. Like, shit got better. For once, I was like, what the hell? How is this possible? I thought that we had 8 years of Obama and it felt like nothing changed. Shit just like steadily got worse. And I'm not saying like Bush did a great job either, because we went to war for some dumbass reason. Not dumbass reasons, but, you know, we didn't stick around for good reasons.
Nah, you can say that it was a dumbass reason because we invaded the wrong country.
Yeah.
You know
Okay.
what I'm saying? Like, yeah.
Like I didn't want to like degrade any of your guys' service in any shape or way. Like what
Oh
y'all
Oh shit, we
you
wasn't
know
the
what
ones
I'm
calling the
saying?
shots, so you're not
We're
trashing
aware.
us.
Okay.
Yeah,
We're
Okay.
aware.
yeah.
You know
I
what I'm
said on
saying?
stream
All
that
respect to y'all.
yeah,
Just
no, I appreciate it.
Because like I don't that when I talk about that shit, I have to like I have to
No, I
caveat
appreciate it.
myself because like
It's but
it,
we felt the same way. I mean, I know my camp did. I'm sure Sky and his camp did. We when I was on the ship, we were pissed. I remember the announcement. Just on this little side note, the announcement that we were going to be out to sea longer and the reasoning behind it. I mean, I just threw a fucking chair across the bathroom
mm-hmm.
and I just sat in the bathroom floor. And all the other homies were like, because we thought we were going home. And then I looked at everybody and I was like, there's worse though. And we all knew what the worst was. We didn't have to say it. And we're talking about our other brothers and sisters in arms in the other branches that had it worse.
Mm-hmm.
The Marines that weren't on the ship, the Army that were on foot in
foot.
deserts. So we were like, there's worse. And we just kind of got up and went on about our time. You know what I mean? So, yeah, man.
But it's like, and that's a lot of people were, and that I'm glad that I was alive for that moment in history because a lot of the younger generation don't have that time to fall back on to like remember how united we were as a country and to remember how things were back then when we weren't so divided. I was literally like on the precipice when I was a kid. In the 90s, I've literally at one point in my head was like, look at us, America. We solved racism. Like, we did it. Nobody cares about race anymore. All we're talking about is like, if we finish this gay thing, like, we're good. If we can all agree on this gay thing, that was like the biggest issue in the 90s. Like, and then going into the 2000s, like, just gay marriage. Like, can people get married when they're gay? Like, and like having gay people be accepted into society. That was huge in the 90s in the US, at least for at my area in New York. And I just felt as a kid, I'm like, all right, like we got it. We're like smooth sailing. We're just gonna get better from here. And it's wild to see where we are now. So I'm just glad that I remember that time in our history. And when you throw a cog in the wheel, right? And then shit just gets brought out to light. And I think the cog in the wheel at this point was Donald Trump. But yeah, hit that, DJ. I see what you got queued up there.
Yeah, let's get to this because we're talking about all this stuff that was going on with them going at Trump and persecuting him and all this stuff legally. Let's and shout out to Andy for letting me know because apparently
this was huge.
The DA Alvin Bragg has been brought up on charges, if I'm not mistaken, in terms of him persecuting Donald Trump. So let's get to this video where the DOJ spokesperson caught on video blasting Bragg's prosecution of Trump as lawfare. What happened?
Actual felonies? Because I was pretty sure that
you stacking charges and like rearranging things just to make it fit a case. To be honest with you, I think the case is nonsense. Every real estate person in New York does what he did. Nobody's ever been charged with this.
Nonsense and a perversion of justice, released by Steven Crowder. Hey, shout out to them for that.
Alvin's very ambitious.
What do you mean?
He wants to be, something. I don't know what. Mayor. I'm not sure what he wants to be, but I know he's not happy just being the DA of New York County.
34 felonies, right? And
This guy's probably going to
you see how people keep bringing that up.
And there is going to be, it's going to be ugly.
Yeah, he went on to say that he was just trying to impress somebody he just met who was an undercover reporter. So yeah, obviously you're not just trying to impress somebody. You're being honest, and you see his facial cues. I've heard experts talk about this in conversations too. Like, he's not just trying to impress somebody; he's being off the cuff. He's being direct. Like, she asked a
Bro,
few probing
it's pillow
questions.
talk.
Yeah, and he's just going. He's just going. He keep going.
It's
Trying.
one of the greatest, one of the greatest details in all of history is pillow talk.
Mhm.
When the guy starts talking too much to the woman that he's sleeping with or wants to sleep with, is pillow talk. You get some of the greatest bits of information from women who are seemingly just, love interests, and they're like, "Oh my gosh, you're so impressive. Your money and your knowledge and your blah blah blah," and they're listening to everything, jotting down every detail, sometimes recording it depending on the time frame, time period of life and era, and they're taking it back to their handler, and it's a wrap. Yeah, he's just one of many, and now he's trying to say he was trying to impress somebody. Get the fuck out of here, bro.
Yeah, it's unfortunate that people get called out like this, but it's also fortunate that we have people doing this type of reporting to get these type of facts out and get these things out there, because a lot of people felt this way. I mean, I know that this was a bunch of BS, most likely, and a lot of it is BS. This trial, because I've lived in New York the majority of my life. I grew up in New York, and I know that they are like a police state essentially. And I mean, during the height of Lil Wayne's career, what do they do? Take out the biggest, like, African American, most influential dude in America. That New York did that, and we got to put him on Rikers for a gun that was on his bus that was registered, but it wasn't registered in New York. So, of course, and it wasn't even his. It was like a manager or security guards officers, but it was on his bus, and he didn't have a license to carry it. So it's Lil Wayne's fault, and that's why Lil Wayne went to prison. Just in case you guys wanted to know why he went to prison, that was a bunch of bullshit. Then, just like they do a bunch of bullshit to do whatever they want here. Like, I know how it goes, and it's not surprising to me that this comes out and someone says this. It's like, it's great though that we got this information.
Right. Facts.
It reminds me of Project Veritas' style. Shout out to them. I keep saying that. I keep naming them because they helped a lot of people through C-19, man. When everybody was getting crap information, they were out there really, they were really doing a darn thing, getting out real information.
Facts. Andy, what was your take on those couple videos that we just played?
Man, I think it's so obvious. You asked who watches The Watchmen, and I think it's so fortunate that there's so many people that as soon as one of these things happens, like, rush to the internet to like pull as much of the alleged shooter's social media post, because it's like, it's going to disappear. And like, when you start to realize, like, why would you hide it? Why would it disappear? That there's something pretty malicious going on. And then you're like, oh, well, that's just the 3-letter agencies. Like, nah, dude, it's all of it, because it's the weaponization of the judicial system. And whether or not these cases go through, like you said, man, people just keep saying it. 34 charges. It'll never go away. And it's just a mockery. It's like a mockery of the judicial system. And yet it's like, there's been huge groups of, American populace that have known this for a long time, that, justice isn't, what you think it is, and that sometimes it's weaponized. And in one way, more people than ever are waking up to the fact that, like, you can't just trust authority. And I think that's where you get these really cool alliances forming, where people from completely different backgrounds, people of different races that, politically it's very expedient and it's very beneficial for them to keep at odds with one another, are looking at one dude and being like, are you guys seeing what I'm seeing? Like, and they're like, yeah, that's what we've been saying. Like, sometimes they arrest you for no reason. Sometimes it's
like old girl from the Young Turks. She seems to be she seems to be waking up to some stuff.
Even Chris Como, dude, was saying today, he was like, dude, he's not this threat to democracy that you're saying. Like, he's like, I don't like him, but it's like, Trump is not as dangerous as you're saying. And it's like, it's crazy. I've lived in countries where you have legitimately like dangerous presidents and who are like rule with absolute power and do whatever they want, give things to their family members, like just, nationalize and, take mines to give to their kids type thing. Like gold mines and stuff. And yet you got this guy who left office, and I'm supposed to believe he's more dangerous than the people that we're afraid of. And people, it's like they want to believe that. And I'm like, dude, y'all need to like maybe go see a place with actual dictators, because they don't leave. That's kind of their MO, is they don't leave.
Exactly.
It's the fact that he left, bro, and we wasn't all in chains. You know what I'm saying? Like, like people were trying to make it seem like it was. It just seems to be strange to me. But we gotta say goodbye to the homie Austin, and we're actually about to give our final thoughts and stuff too, because I'm not even gonna play these last two videos because I just realized I could save these for another stream. Austin, any final thoughts as we wrapping up, bro, before we get on out of here?
Yeah, I'll try to keep it short and sweet so I don't go on and on. Thanks for having me on. I gotta go to sleep, obviously. So I will be out of here. We should do more streams like this, though. I think more people should be talking about it, at least discussing it, because the more we do talk about it, the more information we all get to learn. And some people don't want to disseminate the information for themselves. So when they get it from their friends or their homies, like, or people they know and trust, they can be like, oh, okay. And they understand it then. And we need more people who are enlightened and can have some sort of awakening to the bullshit that the mainstream media feeds them every day. And it's not just to be rebellious and say, F the man, like whatever. It's not just to do that. If you want to just do that, cool. We got you too. Like, we got a place for you. But it is just one thing to just care about the stuff that goes on around you. And if you do actually care about it, I hope you care about it before it's gone, because that is like a test in life, to not take something for granted before you don't have it. Like, oh man, I wish I enjoyed it more while it was here. How many people say that every day? Don't take it for granted. And like, that is literally a true thing. Do you have gratitude for what you actually have, and do you put time and effort in to keep it that way, or to replenish it, to make sure it's gonna stay that way? It's on you. It's on all of us. So don't think that somebody else is going to do it, because they're not. They're going to take it away from you and do whatever the hell they want with it. So that's what I wanted to say, and thank you for giving me a spot to say it. And like I said, we should do more of these streams and have more of these discussions. But thank you guys for speaking your truths, for doing what you do, and I'm sure I'll see you out there in the Speed Force, y'all.
We appreciate you coming through, bro. Real talk.
Absolutely. Peace. Love y'all.
Peace out, homie.
Right. And we're gonna hear from Andy on next, man. What's your final thoughts, bro, as we kind of close this down and look back on the entire conversation?
Just great stream, man. Like, so much awesome stuff you pulled together that I think it's good that people see in one place, because it can get exhausting trying to keep track of it all. But I mean, if we don't talk, man, they're going to fill in the narrative for us. And the narrative that they are wanting to paint clearly is not real. It is clearly not the truth. And I just think back to that clip you had of Hillary Clinton redefining what objective means. It's like, dude, like, we can't even
I
argue.
don't understand why it's so difficult.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. So like if they're not going to do it, it comes down to regular people to bridge the gap and talk to one another and actually be objective. So no, all great. Thanks so much for having me on the platform. You guys are killing it.
Hey man, we appreciate you. We appreciate you being here, and shouts out because I saw it was up to like 45 people in here, like across all three platforms. So, shouts out to y'all that have been tuning in. Make sure y'all smash that like button, and yeah, we're gonna keep bringing these streams to you guys for sure. Leon, what about you, bro? Kind of looking back on the conversation, what are you left with, and what's your final thoughts?
Yeah, these conversations are absolutely necessary. And like Andy touched on, to have a comprehensive video, a comprehensive space, a comprehensive channel that people can come to get a lot of these scattered bits of information. This is great. This is why when I was originally, because I was like, not necessarily fired up to do it on my channel, but I was like, yeah, I'm ready to go, because we were doing like the little pattern thing of, you, me, you, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, I literally said, yeah, I'm doing this other project that I'm going to do either tomorrow or Friday. And I was just like, I have done no research whatsoever, but I already knew you had it all together without even asking. He and I hadn't even had discussions about whether he put anything together. I already knew. And I was like, yeah, bro, you should do it on your channel. And he just gave me the let's rock. You know what I mean? Exactly. So yeah, this is it, man. We have to have these conversations and we can't be afraid. Like fear is the mind killer.
Fear is the motherfucking mind killer, y'all.
It is, man. It is. It is like
Lisan Al Gaib.
Facts. You know what I'm saying? Inshallah, right? It's just totally, man, like it's of the enemy. This is like on so many levels. And being overly emotional about this sort of thing is also dangerous too. We have to set us, you know what I mean? We could be passionate about this stuff, but we can't let our emotions steer us into the wrong directions. Even in conversations like if we're pro this or that, we cannot let our emotions guide us even in that. We have to look objectively at these things. And I think a lot of like the stream you had directly after the debate was very telling. The type of audience that was speaking, I was just like, wow, it's interesting how emotional everybody's getting. You're giving them literal information and everybody just reacting emotionally. And it's like, hey, look, no one's saying you have to take this information that's being given to you and just say, this is a fact. We're just saying do some research. Don't react emotionally and say, because you can't stand one side of the conversation, I'm not willing to hear anything else. We can't operate like that in life. That is dangerous.
Yeah.
They tell us this guy's dangerous. They say his speech is dangerous. They say he's a threat to democracy. The real threat to democracy is stifling your own actions, stifling yourself and your beliefs to go beyond what you're being fed. That's dangerous. That's a threat to democracy. And in all honesty, you just have to look in the mirror and blame yourself, because they can pump out and say whatever they want. But you have to do your due diligence to fight against the urge to just say, it's just easy to accept what the mainstream is telling me and what every corner of society is telling me, even when I'm looking at things that say the opposite, even when it just doesn't seem to line up with logic. I refuse to do any sort of effort and figure out information on my own. I'll just sit here and take what's being fed to me and then just call everybody else a weirdo, a liar, and a racist, when in reality, you're just being lazy and emotional. But I know that sounds harsh and dire. I'm just keeping it real. That's just how I feel about the whole situation. At the end of the day, I just hope that more people do more research. As much time as we spend on TikTok and Twitter and Instagram and thumbing through social media, let's all try to find different avenues to get the truth. You know, I appreciate you, Sky, and I appreciate what you're doing, brother. You know, I'm still rocking with you, and I'm gonna keep rocking. You know what I mean?
Hey, I appreciate you pulling up, bro. The stream wouldn't have been the same without you. You know what I mean? And I appreciate all y'all that pulled up, man.
For sure.
100%. Whether it was in the panel or in the chat, one of the many chats that we've been streaming to. Yeah,
Definitely.
yo. I think that what I'm left with is, you know, every once in a while, a generation has to stand up and have their moment for what they're going to fight for, you know? And I think that in a time where it's been so easy to take up certain causes that don't really, it's, you know, and you can do it in a way that's very passive, right? Like you can just put stuff on social media, right? Just send a post or something and say, hey, this is how I feel about this certain situation. And you can have like a cute little hashtag with it, and just be cool, right? But then, you know, there are also other ways of being very much more proactive, in my opinion. And if you do not become proactive, uh, things can change. If you live in this country that I live in, that I grew up in, I've been noticing that it's been changing. Um, LA is not the same. It doesn't look the same. It doesn't feel the same. When I went back to New York was very different than what I feel like it was when I spent a little bit of time out there, even back in what was it, like 07, you know. Uh Austin just said he went back to New York and it was worse than what he left it at like 3 years prior to that. There's aren't many roads being fixed. These houses still look old and decrepit. Flint, Michigan still doesn't have clean water. Just you can go on so many places and people being displaced and just harmed by um, as, as some of these areas that they kind of have to live in, right? So this has been going on for quite some time, and it just seems to be getting worse and worse and worse. And you know, there's been one party that has been in charge of the country 12 of the last 16 years, right? And it just so happened that the four kind of like when this other guy was in charge, where they weren't in charge, just seemed to be the best four out of the last 16 for some reason. But yet they will have you guys believe that, you know, he's some type of threat. And they're going to keep using that word because they know that it riles people up. And, you know, I think we got a whole bunch of Manchurian candidates out there, yo. I really do, you know. And when you continue to like rile people up in these types of ways and have them out there feeling as if you know, they're saving democracy or saving the world by taking out Donald Trump, like you know, these are the things that are going to happen. I don't think that this is on accident. I think they want this type of environment there. I do think that they want this man gone. They've tried to do every other thing. They've tried to slander him. They've pressed charges on him. They, you know, have done all these things, and now they're openly shooting at him. And then, you know, you're still having rhetoric that is almost as if nothing even happened, right? And I think that if something does happen to this guy, I think that you know, maybe then people will get it. I don't know, but I just know that if we don't stand up and fight, this feels like we're about to lose our country. That's just what I am honestly kind of gleaming from all this if you look around, and I was going to get into the whole migrant thing too, but I'll just save that for another stream. But yeah, like the Springfield thing, they dropped 20,000 migrants in a city that already had about 60,000 people. So that's an extra third of the population. You know, obviously places like that can't sustain that, right? And we're having crime up all over the country. You're hearing crazy stories in small towns, large towns, buildings being taken over, people being snatched up, yes, eating of pets and cats and stuff like that, and we can get into that next stream. But I just think that if we continue to just sit here and just bury our heads in the sand and just act as if nothing is happening, I do think that this will be probably our last chance at any kind of redemption arc. Because look, people talk shit about this country, and I understand how some people can have like a slanted kind of view of it. If you grew up in a certain situation, mostly speaking, like outside of here, I can see how you could have a negative view of America. But at that same time, with me growing up here, this is the only place that I've ever called home, right? And like it or not, this is I really do feel like this is like the Spartans in 300. Like we're the last place that has like free speech like that. I mean, where else has that?
Yeah, nowhere.
Like these things have to be fought for. They're not just given to you in perpetuity because people that because look, obviously, if it's not the norm, right, then why wouldn't the rest, of these pressures from the outside be trying to take over what we got going on over here? Why wouldn't that be the case? If this was the last spark of free will in the entire world, why not go try to stamp that out? I would if I was them. These are just things that we have to think about, and this is a choice that everybody's going to have to make, right? And yeah, I've even had certain kind of conversations with friends, and it's like I've been telling them, like, because there are certain things that would kind of bring me out of retirement, so to speak, and one of those things, or one of the reasons being, is because I'm like, yo, I don't know if everybody else is going to be willing to fight like that, and I think that, these things require courage, right? And yeah, it's just, look, I love this country. I've fought for it, and I think that, no matter what our ills may be, there's all types of shit that go on all around the world, all types of atrocities and stuff, and yeah, I can only do something about where I live at. That's how I can make a change. I can't make a change worldwide, but I can make a change here. So, yeah, any final thoughts, peeps? Because we are about to close this thing on down.
Yeah, that was a great way to wrap it up. Can't do anything globally. We can do whatever we can in our backyard within our own purview, and hopefully, if we're all practicing those habits of improving our own purview, then the micro can reflect on the macro,
Yeah.
or the macro effect. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I think I said it right the first time.
Yeah. Right. But yeah, I want to close out with this video, and then I'm gonna go into because we actually have an outro video that I've been neglecting for quite some time, but because I didn't even realize that it was there, you know what I'm saying? But I totally have an outro video now. But yeah, I want to play this, and then we're gonna go into the outro video. But we are done here. Much love, and thank you, Andy, for pulling up. Much love, Brody.
Pleasure, man. Pleasure. Thanks so much.
Right. And shouts out to Leon as well. You know what I'm saying? We are about to run this thing on out. Oh, wait. What y'all got coming up?
Same old, same old. I think we're doing Fan Rant Thursday with you boys on Thursday.
Yeah. I'm gonna try to make it on this Thursday. I already let you guys know. I don't know if they have let you know yet, but yeah, I'm usually off on Thursdays, but I'm working this one. So and then next Thursday is my birthday, but I'll still be pulling up for that though. So
excited.
Yeah. Word. Birthdays on Fan Rant Thursday. How y'all feel about that?
We pulled strings, you know.
Right. But yeah, I want to kind of finish with this video, and then we'll get at y'all next time. Y'all have a good one. Peace.
Bang.
I do want to express thanks to you, Donald Trump, for being with us tonight. We need your building skills, your gusto, your rent package for people on Wall Street who represent diversity. And we thank you for coming tonight. Let's give Donald Trump a big hand. A big hand for Donald Trump. I now want to bring forth a friend who has, well, he is deceptive in that his social style is of such. One can miss his seriousness, and his commitment for their success is beyond argument. When we opened this Wall Street project and we talked about it, he gave us space at 40 Wall Street, which was to make a statement about our having a presence there. And beyond that, in terms of reaching out and being inclusive, he's done that too. And created for many people a comfort zone when I ran for the presidency in 84 and 88. And many others thought it was either laughable or something to avoid. He came to our business meeting here in New York because he has this sense of the curious and a will to risk to make things better. And so aside from all of his style and his pizzazz, he's a serious person who's an effective builder of building for the builder of people. Last year he was a part of our workshop, of our panel workshop on what are the challenges and opportunities. And so this, a year later, Donald Trump, for a few minutes, challenges and opportunities to embrace the underserved communities. Donald Trump.